Thanks for joining us on yet another episode of News in Focus. My name is Linda Alela. Now, today we move from the stern moments, always weird, tough. We're talking about very crucial things in the society and everything. So today on News in Focus, we decide to loosen up, at least for the festive season. We're going to talk about fashion. And since we all know that fashion is quite wide, we are going to base our focus on male fashion in particular. Sector that I'd say a line that has been ignored for quite a long time. When you see a man dressed up, there's always an event. It is either there's a wedding. If not a wedding, he's a celebrity, going on stage to perform. If he's not a celebrity, then most probably he's on a runway, the models and everything. And we have this big question. Is it that we don't have enough material for men out there? Well, and that and much more, join us right here. And of course, we're going to have awesome guests. We have Arthur Moro on my farthest end. Of course, he's a male fashion icon. He's the East African Female Fashion Blogger nominee. And of course, he's a founder of the Lifestyle Spread. It's a fashion line, I believe. Yes. He has also been behind most of the successful fashion events in Kenya, of course, and he's worked on the sets of photo shoots, both as a stylist and a choreographer. So he's here, he's going to tell us more about the male fashion and everything. We need to hear so much more from him. And of course, right next to him is a very great gentleman. He's a journalist, I would say, and of course, he's also one person who's always standing out when it comes to matters fashion. When you look at this guy, there's no single time I've met this fella, not dressed up. And many people will always have a question mark, and we all know that guys, sijui say many chafu or something. Well, forgive me for saying that, but anyway, we all agree that men sometimes really want to be, these kawaida guys and everything. And the big question is, for those guys who stand out, what is it that they do different, or what is it that they have overlooked for them to stand out? And of course, I'll throw the question to you guys right here.
Linda, first things first, when you look at fashion, it's so wide, and it usually judge. I don't know if my friend will agree with it, but every person, especially every man, has his or their own definition of fashion. Like if you ask me what is fashion for me, I will tell you, for me, I breathe in fashion and I exhale out style. Okay. I don't know about him, but we have different ways of which we can, define fashion.
Well, of course, before we get to know what Ada has to say about, Olavia, commonly known as Olav, has to say about fashion, you remember you can always call in, to ask any questions. If you're a man out there, you're a lady out there, you kind of feel like you want to make your man stand out. I mean, the question comes in, how do you like your man, standing out, or akae tu abu kawaida and everything. It's just all about you. Remember, you can call the number right on your screen. The numbers are right on your screen. You can ask any questions. You can just feel comfortable to interact with us. Share your opinions. Tell us what you think about male fashion. And Arthur, what do you think about fashion, and particularly in the male sector?
Fashion is such a wide area, as he has said. For me personally, it's business, it's passion, and it's work on a day-to-day basis. So for me, I'd like to say fashion is, in men, is a way where a man can be able to translate fashion in his or own way. It's an art where they're able to stand out from the crowd, to put a stamp. You have to put a stamp on what you wear and, and how you look. So for me, that is
fashion. It's not always easy, Arthur. You must agree with me. I hope you guys are not just dressed up for the show. Of course, I mean, yes, these are the original. This is the original Arthur. This is the original Brian. I can attest to that. I've been with these guys before, and like I said earlier on, they will always stand out from the crowd. It's not an easy thing to stand out from the crowd. I mean, it requires a lot, money and all that and everything. How easy can you make it as fashionistas?
I will tell you for a fact. For guys, it's usually so hard, but usually the rules are very simple for a guy. Just know your body type. We don't want a scenario whereby you just put something just for sake of doing it. Know your body type. It's very essential if you know your body type, because that way you can be able to outline, these particular clothes suit me best. You don't want, walking in the street of Nairobi with a t-shirt written Singenge Ningombe, you see? So, so you should definitely know your body type. Number one, that is very critical. I don't know if Arthur will agree with me, but that is very critical. Most of the time, most of the men usually don't know their body type.
So are we trying to say that that at some point in time, after you've known your body type, there are clothes you cannot wear at all. There's a particular fashion that you cannot wear as a man.
Exactly, yeah.
That
Very
is the
true.
thing, yeah?
Very true.
So at some point in time, you know, your body type can limit you to suits.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a possibility.
Yes.
It
That
is a
is so unfair.
possibility. It's a possibility as well. Because, you know, sometimes, again, fashion comes, fashion goes. What really stands out is your style.
Yeah.
Your style will go a long way. Because, you know, once you've identified that this particular style suits me the best, better for you. Because, you know, you can see someone walking around town, we know, with don't touch my ankle kind of pants. If you try it, it will backfire on you miserably. So you have to know what works for me, what does not work for me, and then go with the flow.
But I don't know if I agree with that like 100%, because for instance, maybe this is my style, you know, you just want to always do official and everything. You know, Saturday comes, the weekend comes, you don't want to tell me that you'll still, you know, be very stern with the suits and all that and everything. So at some point in time, you'll have to break loose. So how do you just get to break loose, Arthur?
For me, I think first of all, before you even get to know the type of clothes which work for you, I think you have to have the will to experiment.
That's the point.
Yes, to know what really works for your
Yeah.
body type, to know if you're really into suits or into casual clothes. But I think you really have to be in the middle to be able to have a versatile kind of style. And this is broad, whereby you have to do some research, know what works with what, get staple pieces which will be able to work for you on both occasions, on both casual outfits and both more sartorial looks. So do research, know what works for you, know which trends work for you and what don't, what prints work for you and what don't. And that I incorporated into his when he says body type. There's some prints which won't work for certain people, there's some lines which work for certain people, and there's some looks which won't really work for you. And this is brought by experimenting and knowing what really works for you and what doesn't.
Okay, speaking about what works for you and what does not work for you, let's talk about this color blocking thing. Let's talk about these screaming colors, you know, and for men and everything. For a long time, we've not been associating this with men. But nowadays, you get a very bold guy standing, you know, walking in the streets of Nairobi with an orange, you know, pant, and you're thinking, okay, something is amiss and everything. But there are people who wear that way, and I mean, it just passes, and you kind of feel like they look good. What are the events where you can, you can just decide to go bold on bright colors as a man?
You see, again, I really love the way I've picked something that you said. Men are now becoming more bold, you know, towards colors. And again, you know, what works for someone else necessarily does not mean it will work for you. For me, I can rock any jacket that is bold, but when it comes to the pants, it's a no-go zone for me. For you see, you don't want a scenario whereby you see a thin person wearing, you know, a green suit. You might even confuse that person on a walking sugarcane, you know. So you don't want, you know,
no offense,
no offense with much love. And, you know, you have to balance. You have to know exactly, you know. Sometimes, you know, fashion can really backfire miserably on you. And just because something is trending, and then you just want to go and try it out and feel, just because you saw, let's say, you know, a famous musician rocking that particular outfit, you feel you can rock it as well. It does not work. Others can pull it off very well. Again, you have to know what works out for you very well. Yes.
All right. Now, Arthur, of course, the same question goes down to you. And to add on to it about the trend, like Brian Ugana mentioned earlier on, you know, sometimes you want to go with the trend. You know, I mean, how do you just let go of the trend that has come in? You know, everyone is rocking this and everything, but you don't want to rock it. I mean, it would not be very fair.
Again, I have to say, as a man, I don't think it's really necessary for you to follow trends, because trends come really fast and end really, really fast. I think you should find staple pieces which will be able to transit easily. If you are into trends, get a trend which will be able to last longer than 1 more year or 2 more years. Get a trend that will last longer and that will work for you. Don't follow this trend, because they really end really fast. And going to the color part where he says there are colors which don't work for certain people, it's true. There are colors which won't work for certain men, and there are colors which will work for certain men. It's about your skin tone. I really think it's about your skin tone.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
if you're dark, I think you can wear certain bright colors, and if you're brown, I think
But
there
it's
are
not the case for
certain-
ladies. I mean, you guys are
Yeah.
just being a bit unfair on guys, you know, because us ladies will just rock anything, any color, whether we light skinned or dark. In most cases, we do, and it passes actually.
You know, for ladies, you can pull it. But if you're so keen into details, trust you me, you will notice and you'll be like, hell no. Whatever this lady is doing, that's not
That's a no.
ideal. It's a
Yeah.
no for, because you know it all goes with your skin tone. 'Cause,
Exactly, yeah.
you won't tell me a lady who has an ebony kind of skin, you will wear a purple dress and she will pull it. That's a no. She can never pull it. So you have to balance. You know, if let's say for your instance, you know, you are kind of light, you know, you can pull anything and it will work for
it'll
you.
be safe,
It will
yeah?
work for you and you'll be safe for that matter. But you know, for another instance, if you take someone darker and you know, you tell that person, you know, for you, you need to wear darker kind of clothes, it is a no-go zone for them because, you know, it will backfire miserably for that particular person. So you have to really know, my skin tone is this, so this kind of color will simply go well and will blend in with my skin tone. That's very essential. You know, you don't just want to assume and be like, see that person did it, so I can also pull it. No, you have to know, my skin tone is this, and let's say for a guy, if your skin tone is dark, you need to know what kind of suit suits my skin tone and then go to that particular trend.
Well, do you agree with these guys out here? You know, I mean, for some reasons, we've moved from the male kidogo and also we've touched on the ladies. So you out there, remember, you can call in and ask questions. You can call in and, you know, just changia on the whole story. And of course, remember, you can as well tweet us at Ebru Africa and at Linda Alela, at Linda_Alela Mathambo. Of course, we definitely need to hear from you guys. What do you think about what Brian is saying? Is it all about the skin color? Is it all about, you know, your body type and everything? Fashion is fashion at the end of the day.
Exactly.
But the way you rock it is the question. And how bold are men nowadays to rock these things and everything? As we've always ignored you people, that I must agree. Like we're now headed to the festive season. And in most cases, you realize that when it comes to the festive season, people will want to buy clothes and everything. You want to give gifts to everyone. I can't remember a time I thought of, you know, giving my dad a suit or anything. You know, we always think, Papa will just rock the kawaida pants and everything. But anyway, it's all the same, the picture that has been portrayed by you guys. So what can you tell guys now that we are headed to the festive season? The wives out there, you need to at least surprise your mind and everything. And so let's just talk about generally fashion. Now that we're headed to the festive season, what would be your ideal, you know, rock for the festive season?
My ideal rock, especially for ladies out there, you know, if you want to surprise your man, and of course, you know how your man's closet looks like, you know, ensure that closet has a watch. Very key, very essential. Ensure that closet has a red tie. It has to have a red tie.
Okay.
And I know you'll be like, what do you
Why?
mean? And why would, you know, a man's closet have a red tie?
Are you trying to justify the fact that you're in a red
It's not
tie?
even about me justifying a red tie, but a man's closet has to have a red tie. I don't know if you agree with me.
No, I disagree.
All right.
You
I don't
disagree.
know, but
Why do you disagree? Why do you, before we come to you, before we come back to you, Brad, why do you disagree that it has, I mean, it's not necessary to have a red tie in
For
the
me,
closet?
it's necessary to have a black tie. Why? It's easily worn with a lot of outfits.
So that you won't have the hassle of washing it.
No, not because you won't have the hassle of washing it. It's easier to wear it with any kind of blazer. If you have a white blazer, a black blazer, black is such a solid color, you can be able to transition it into a lot of outfits. If you go for red, yeah, he's bald, he can wear red, you know. Some people can't really wear red, you know, they'll find it quite an odd color for them, so they won't really go there. So for me, I don't really agree you should have a red color. Once you're into once you've bought a black tie, then you can transition into getting bolder colors. That's what I go for. Build from, you know, from solid all the way.
you know why
I
I'm
think I'll
saying?
come back to that. I mean, we'll want to know what are the things that, I mean, there's so, what are these necessary things that we need to have in our closet, you know, as guys and all that and everything. But of course, we come back to you. Why do you think that it is necessary?
You know
to
why
have
I'm saying it's necessary for every man to have a red tie? There is something with red. A man, let's say, the reason as to why I say and I'm emphasize strongly that every man has to own a red tie, you know, there is those occasions like interviews, like let's say weddings or some of those occasions that usually come once in a lifetime. You know, there is something with red that does, and people don't know. Red makes someone stand out. Red is bold in an extent, in a way that, you know, it tells you that, you know, I'm in charge of this situation. As a matter of fact, of
Someone just
if
came
you're
over here
I know.
You're in charge, clearly.
Yeah, I'm in charge of this situation.
Alright,
Even if, you know, you're running that, I'm in charge. I'm in control. That's what red does, and that's why I'm saying every man needs to
Should.
own a red tie. It's
Should we
very
just-
paramount.
Should we just say you just love red?
No, I don't know.
No,
red.
that brings me back to the question of why is it that when you see a man dressed up, it's always about it's an event, it's this, it's because they're going for an interview. But any other days, they're just there. You know, their standards are just down there. And that's what we're trying to scrap off and everything. So I guess you guys are here to advocate for your fellow men. So
True.
what do you say, Arthur?
Men, as you have seen, like men dress up to go for events. They don't do this on a more daily basis. But for me, I'm seeing men are really trying right now to look more dapper and more sharp on a daily basis. Yes, of course you'll find
You're looking
a small
for equality
Yeah.
to make it better equality when it comes to dressing, yeah? Whether
you'll find-
women.
of course, you'll find some men are not really. They only dress up to go for events and things like this, and this is really brought about by they don't want to be shamed on newspapers, or they don't want to appear on the worst dress lists. And on one case, that's good, you know, they are really doing their best to go a notch higher. But again, I think men should really know how to dress, you know, sharp each and every day. First of all, don't break your bank. Don't get like 10 pieces, which would really be worth it, you know, which would want to help you. Get pieces which are of very good quality, which will last you more years, you know. You can't get 10 pieces and, you know, by 1 year it's, you know, it's done. Get pieces which will help you build on your closet slowly by slowly. That is what will help you, you know, have a proper style and a proper image. For me, I think that is what men are lacking in this country.
Well, there's this one thing that I've not been sure about for the longest time now, rocking the Ankara. Well, it's been there for the longest time. I mean, our forefathers used to rock Ankara at some point in time, but I kind of think that you guys, in as much as you're looking for equality, you know, you're just overdoing it. I don't know what you guys think about the Ankara thing, but trust you me, the guys are just, I would say the guys are doing injustice to it.
It takes us back again, you know. Just because something worked out for someone does not mean it will work out for you. Yes.
Exactly.
And you see, at the same time, Ankara, you know, any person who rocks an Ankara, it shows that person, you know, is rich in content, you know, appreciates the fabric. And, you know, Ankara is a very rich fabric.
Exactly.
And, you know, if someone boldly wears an Ankara outfit, I mean, it tells you a lot. This person is daring on another level. But again, it can be misused. It can be misused. I usually say, for me, I can never do an Ankara up, down.
Down. And shoes.
It's a no-no.
And the shoes,
It's
don't
a
forget.
no-no.
And something
too
like,
much.
you know.
It's too much.
Too much,
It's too
yeah.
much. Because,
Much.
you know, for Ankara, it needs, you know, if I look at you and I spot that Ankara, I'll be like, wow.
I don't know whether you guys saw this. I mean, there was this thing, like a picture that, some funny picture that was moving around social media and everything. That, you know, those moments that is, so you've gone to peleka mahari
Yes.
to the parents of the lady and everything, and when you're there, you've rocked your Ankara and looking around. That is what is all over the. You know, those are the curtains in the house. You know that awkward
Yes.
moment, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some more.
It portrays something else that, you know, it's like you borrowed one of the curtains and, you know,
I mean,
you had to.
it is
To make it into
absurd.
your own,
Yes.
yeah.
It is absurd.
So,
Of course, we're
yeah.
coming back to that. We're coming back to talk about, you know, the Ankara and everything. What do you think? You know, feel free to call in. The numbers are right on your screen. Send in your tweet to Linda_Alela, and of course, we'll sample some of your tweets before we go, before we get to wind up the show. We're taking a short break, and we'll be right back with all about male fashion.